Casey, this is Lieutenant Andrews, homicide.
Policewoman Patricia Jones, Shield 300.
What was it this time?
Narcotics.
Sorry to pull you right over here like this, but I'd like to try something. We've got a murdered seaman named Olonsky. Strangulation. Jones, pick this table up for me, will you, please? Donovan. Okay, choke him.
Casey?
Hi, how's your neck?
It's bloody, but unbarred. Lieutenant Andrews wants to see you again.
Right away? Is this an assignment?
That's right, homicide.
What about the murder?
Yeah, we found the murdered man who reported some jewelry stolen a few days before he was strangled. This morning they picked up a girl who was trying to pawn his watch. Turned out she lived right across the hall from the guy. Come on, before I get hoarse, huh? Take a good look at this kid. She's in the lineup room now.
All right, Molly, let's take it again. You say the watch you tried to pawn was given to you by the man who was killed.
To pawn for him.
Because he didn't have time to do it himself.
He was a merchant seaman. He had to be down at the Union Hall all the time.
This is the girl.
But when you tried to pawn the watch, you knew he was already dead.
I thought he might have had a family or something.
But you said before he told you he was all alone in the world.
I wanted to buy some flowers so I could put them on his grave, so show at least somebody cared.
Then why did you tell me the other?
I thought if I pretended that he had a family, it would be like he had one. Then he wouldn't be all alone out there in the cemetery.
Now listen to this carefully. Molly, let's get back to your boyfriends. Do you have many?
Sure, lots of them.
But you have a special boyfriend, haven't you? George?
Yes.
What'd you say his last name was? Don't you know his last name? Molly, you didn't have anything to do with killing Mr. Lonsky, did you?
No.
Did George?
No, why should he?
For the watch, the stick pin, the ring.
There wasn't any ring. You're smart. You're really very smart.
All right, Molly, you might as well tell us now. Where did you really get the watch?
George gave it to me.
Where'd George get it?
He won it in a card game with Mr. Lonsky.
That's the man we'd like to find, George. She's obviously protecting him. It'll be your job to get close to her. Let her lead us to George. When she does, you'll be right across the hall. Right in Lonsky's room.
Well, with the apartment situation the way it is, a room's a room.
Who is it?
Doris, from across the hall. Hi, I'm Doris Daniels. I just moved in across the hall. The landlady told me there was another girl living on this floor, so I just thought I'd come by and say hello.
Hello.
I'm just about to make myself a cup of tea. You like to have some?
Maybe some other time.
Sure, honey. Anytime you say. Now, listen, if my radio's on too loud, you just tell me.
No, I like it.
You know, sometimes when you're alone, little music helps, kind of keeps you company. Say, did I tell you what my name was? It's Doris Daniels.
Mine's Molly Orchid.
Orchid? Like in the flower? Hey, that's real pretty.
Not my real name. I just took it. I like the name Orchid.
Look, honey, if you ever feel like socializing, just give a knock. The way the nightclub business is losing money, I'll probably be home.
Do you work in a nightclub?
Yeah, when I get offers. Well, look, honey, you come by any time. If I'm not in, I'll be back. Hi, come on in.
Could I still have that cup of tea?
Sure, one tea bag still makes 2 cups of tea. Come on in. In this line of work, a cup of tea is a foot in the door. A walk near the UN building opened that door a little wider. But still, it was mostly walk, very little talk. Nothing new about George. Then I bumped into her the next day. She seemed glad to see me. Asked whether I'd like to listen to some records with her. Said she and George were mad about jazz. He taught her all about it. Maybe George is a musician. She's very friendly now. See her practically every day. I asked her point blank what George does for a living. Looked right through me and said George was about the most handsome fellow who ever lived. But as long as I keep seeing her. I had a date to meet her at the Automat for lunch. I might have meant nothing. A masher, a fast proposition, an even faster brush. A musician. Suddenly the pieces fell into place. Of course, a musician. A man who works with his hands, his fingers.
All right, thank you. That's all for now. Sorry to keep you waiting. How do we stand?
We must have checked every guy in New York who carries an accordion case, and fiddle, and guitar.
What'd they tell you down at the union?
They're no help. There are over 30,000 musicians in the New York local alone. As for the name George, it's a mess of them. Might take months to check them all.
And there's always the possibility he isn't a member of the local anyway. Molly says he works out of town a lot.
Now, we've got to move, and fast. He's here somewhere. We've got to nail him before he decides to move on. Casey, I want you to dig at her now, and hard. She's got the key. Make her use it.
Heard you come in. You sleepy?
Oh, excuse me. Now, come on in.
Did you have a nice time?
Fair.
Did you go dancing?
Oh, we danced up a storm.
Did he try to kiss you or anything?
I can handle him.
Fellas are always trying to get fresh with me. All except George. He treats me like a real high-class lady. He's always asking me if I'm comfortable, how I feel, or if I want this or that.
In the meantime, you sit home and he's traveling all over the country.
Oh, well, he's got business.
Yeah, but what kind? You say he never told you anything. For all you know, it could be monkey business.
Oh, no.
Honey, I've met the kind before. Believe you me.
Well, George isn't that kind.
Okay. Oh, what kind is he? How long has he been going now? You haven't even showed me a postal card that he sent you. Look, honey, I know the type. If it ain't under his nose, he just ain't interested.
George loves me.
I'll believe that when I see it.
You have no right to talk about George and me like that. You're jealous, that's what you are.
Okay, so I'm jealous.
Fellas take you out, but they don't respect you. George respects me. There isn't anything he wouldn't do for me. All I have to do is ask him.
Okay, okay.
You just wait. I'll show you. Just wait. I'll show you. You just wait. Because George is back.
Andy, about that nightclub audition, she flipped over the act. She ran yelling out of the room saying she'd get hold of the big boss.
Did she say where he is?
No, but she promised to get in touch with him. From the way she acted, that figures very, very soon.
Tonight?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be at all surprised.
Jones.
I just wanted to let you know, Andy, and thank you for setting it up for me.
Jones, you lock yourself in your room and stay there. For all we know, George could be right in the building. Get me Donovan.
How do I look?
Oh, you look beautiful.
I'm going out with George. A late date. He came back this afternoon. He called me right from the airport. I thought you'd like to know. You know those earrings you wore the other night?
You mean the long dangly ones?
Could I borrow them?
Oh.
Just for tonight?
Sure, I'll get them for you.
Oh, they're just beautiful.
Perfect. When's George going to pick you up?
Oh, I'm going to meet him. And then we're going to our own little special hideaway. Or we might go riding in his new car. Well, I've got to be going. I don't want to be late. And thanks for the earrings.
Molly.
Huh?
Be careful.
What about? I'm going out with George. Well, what a time we had. What a time. We just danced and danced, and then we went to a wonderful Chinese restaurant. We had chop suey.
Well, didn't George bring you home?
Oh, he had to go someplace. You know him. Can I come in?
Sure.
Well, we just danced, and then we had chop suey, and then we went to another place, and we danced some more, and... Who could that be calling at this hour?
Oh, it's my agent. He said he'd probably call back.
So late?
Hello? Yeah, speaking.
Is she back there now? She is. Well, we followed her, and she didn't meet anyone at all tonight. Not anyone. All she did was go to a movie. Alone. Hello, Casey?
Yeah.
Is she right there with you?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I'll be there first thing in the morning, and I'll bring my music. I was my agent. He thinks he might have a job for me in some crummy place in Chicago. I have to audition the first thing in the morning.
Hope you get it.
Yeah.
Is that why you're packing?
Packing? Oh. Yeah. Molly, didn't you tell me that George phoned you from the airport this afternoon?
Yes, he did. The second he got off the plane.
But you saw him at the automat, didn't you? Why did you pretend that you didn't know him?
You mean the fellow at... That skinny little runt, you thought that was George.
He was carrying a musical instrument case.
Why don't you move this? He's a musician, for heaven's sake. He used to work in a movie house where they had vaudeville. My goodness, that skinny little runt. You thought that was George.
Molly, you went to the movies tonight, didn't you?
Later on,
You went there alone.
No, you didn't let me finish. After we danced...
Not with George, all by yourself. You went to the movies.
No. No, you're wrong.
That's how you always intended to spend the evening, not with George at all.
Don't say that.
And for a very good reason.
Now you keep quiet. Don't say that. Now keep quiet.
Molly, now listen to me. Listen to me, Molly.
I don't have to listen to you.
I think I know the truth, Molly.
No, you don't. You don't know anything at all.
I think I know the truth about George.
You can't. You don't.
You couldn't have met George tonight.
No, no, no.
Because there isn't any George.
No, no, no. Please.
said you were my friend.
I am your friend, Molly. Now, look, listen to me.
Are you a cop? You came here to hurt me.
I wouldn't hurt you, Molly.
To put me in jail because of Mr. Lonsky.
What about Lonsky?
He tried to hurt me, too.
Is that why you killed him?
He came back and found me right over there by the table. He thought I was stealing, but I wasn't. I was just looking. He had lots of pretty things from all over the world, and all I wanted to do was look at them. You know?
I know.
He said he was going to call the police. Except he said he wouldn't call them if I told him nobody kisses me but George! Nobody! He tried to kiss me anyway. I tried to push him away, but he wouldn't let me go. He hurt me with his hands. And then I had a hold of his neck. He wanted me to let him go so he could hurt me some more, but I wouldn't let him go. I wouldn't. And then he was dead, just like that, all limp and loose. I guess he didn't know how strong I was. I'm as strong as a man when I get mad. Anyway, why did you pretend to be my friend?
I only pretended to be somebody else. I was still your friend.
You said there wasn't a George.
There isn't, Molly.
Say there is.
Do you want me to tell you a lie?
Say there's a George.
Molly, you know, too. You know that there isn't any George. You don't really want me to tell you there is because that'd be a lie, and friends don't lie. Not real friends, and I'm your real friend now.
I'll shoot you.
Then you wouldn't have a friend anymore, would you, Molly? And that's what counts. Not a friend like George who doesn't exist, but a real friend. May I have my gun? Donovan, don't! See, I wouldn't let anyone hurt you.
Keep the earrings.
As long as you like.
Never had any dangly earrings before.
Remember Jean, the girl I talked to? She has a degree from the University of Southern California. She's a fully qualified chemist. Edna was a nurse. Marion was a social worker. I studied, believe it or not, to be a ballet dancer. Down the line, you name it, we've done it. Today, tomorrow, next week, we'll pose as hostesses, society girls, models, anything and everything the department asks us to be. There are 249 of us in the department. We carry two things in common wherever we go. Shield, we call the Potsy, and a .32 revolver. We're New York's finest. We're police women.